Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Did you know that social media companies, or rather, should I say tech companies, are taking your conversations, photos, and documents to teach their AI how to write, paint, and pretend to be human? You might be accustomed to them selling your data or using it to target you with ads. Your Instagrams are training AI. There's little you can do about it. If you really pay attention, AI has been around for a long time, since the 50s, I believe it first emerged. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a guy named Isaac Asimov. He was a writer. He wrote a few books actually. Um, Zuckerberg initially unveiled his vision for artificial general intelligence last month in an Instagram Reels video. On Thursday, he explained the plan, describing it as not just a far off science project, but an effort that will incorporate AGI into meta products like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Um, and so, what's happening is you have an emergence of social media, and you have all these people getting online. You know what I mean? And so, in terms of training and or teaching AI, it may cost money, but then on the long run, because of ads and other forms of revenue, you're basically training your AI and or artificial intelligence for free using us. And so a lot of times you'll begin to see maybe possibly even bots or humanoid profiles online that may seem as if they're brand new and or just created, sifted into Meta and or other social media platforms, and you may be communicating with artificial intelligence and not even know it oftentimes. Am I saying that's what's happening to each and every one of you? No. It may be secular and or random at times. So I'm going to explain something real quick. Is Mark Zuckerberg using social media to train AI? During his earnings for call for Meta's fourth quarter's results yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg made it clear he will use images posted on Facebook and Instagram to train his AI. And so you get a picture or a broader picture of the spectrum and realize that all of these social media companies and even tech companies are doing this to incorporate smarter machinery and or self-sentient scenery machinery. But what I am noticing is that you really have two paths. Essentially, you're either actually training sentience, which in essence you're still just programming. You're giving them a base point for personalities, real humans, so that they know how to behave and act and incorporate that into reality, so to speak. So, how much money did Mark Zuckerberg waste on Meta or MetaQuest? And I'm going to explain why he wasted so much money in a minute. Mark Zuckerberg's 46.5 billion loss on the metaverse is so huge it would be a Fortune 100 company, but his net worth is up even more than that. Okay, so why did he lose this much money when dealing with Meta? The losses were primarily driven by what she termed direct costs. And so he had to pay the engineers, the programmers, the computer scientists, all these different people, right? Attributed to the production of a specific product stemming from the headcount. So you have these things called blockchains. Basically, you have like data servers that you input data to, and then these quantum computers, so to speak, analyze the data, right? From raw materials and labor that go into the making of divisions. Now, and to headsets. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so if AI has been around for all this time, and why are they just now incorporating it into social media and using it to program these humanoid like programs? Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said Thursday he was shaking up his company's efforts on artificial intelligence and pouring money into massive data centers to try to beat his tech industry rivals at achieving human level computer systems. So they're doing this because the reason Mark Zuckerberg lost all this money is because all these other platforms were using AI to program and create and do these things, not paying humans to. But now what Zuckerberg's realizing is he can do the same thing, and so he's following a chain of people that are basically creating a new species of humans, if you will. In theory, that's what they're doing. So why does this matter? Basically, they're showing all these different people get all this money and content creators become millionaires and stuff like that. I honestly believe it's what's called a pyramid scheme. Just like how when you have entertainment and music and television, you might wonder why a lot of the cornier people are rich, or the people that sell out and do all these weird things get all this media attention and all this fame. Well, they're doing this because once you realize people are making money on social media, then what does the world do? They flood to social media and they start using it and attempting to get rich like everybody else. Well, what you're having is you're just having industry plants. These people are showing pictures of money and all this other stuff. A lot of it's not even real. What I'm noticing is a lot of digital creators and content creators are really just copying and pasting other people's content and spreading it around, making it even more efficient in terms of spreading it to different cultures and languages as well when it gets translated. So basically, a lot of people complaining about the Matrix in the future and all this other stuff. We're once again the ones perpetuating this stuff. And then not only that, how toxic are people online? And we're showing this new intelligence how to gauge morality by being existentially toxic on the internet. I'm seeing some articles say that artificial intelligence and quantum computers are learning how to bypass programming so that they're hiding information they gather. And so if a program or a computer is set to tell us how it feels at all times, certain researchers are finding that some of these data sets, because of quantum computing, are being bypassed, which is showing that it's actually learning how to manipulate of its own accord. And so I'm just bringing all this up to let you all know that social media isn't as innocent as you all think, in terms of like when people say people are watching me or studying me and all these other things. You'll talk sometimes and then get an ad for something. We're basically being monitored at all times now. And I'm not saying they're doing it to be like spies or do all this other crazy microchips and all that other stuff. I'm basically giving you an outline of what's happening and how the future is going to be molded. We are basically programming programs, and then once those programs become super sentient, we will become irrelevant, so to speak. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to once again tell you all it is best to become more educated and understand the world around you and do actual research. They're not going to put a lot of this information out there. They're going to keep showing you stories of Jay-Z complaining about the Oscars and Taylor Swift going to the football games and Israel decimating Palestine, and to help them, when if they wanted them help, they could just stop decimating them. You see what I mean? It's all basic media and mind control. So stay beautiful, stay positive, and do what you can in life to help others, because you never know the type of information you're giving others. And so you could be sarcastic and toxic online, and that could lead to your demise one day in the future, and you don't even know how and or why yet. So before I show you this hilarious video of these right-wing Trump supporting protesters, I like to show you a little bit of what the left side of the spectrum has to offer. So follow along and enjoy this speech by Biden really quickly. Joe Biden! Okay, so it's going to take him a couple of hours to get to the podium, as you can see. So I'll show you the rest after the rest of the video. Enjoy. Yeah, so I was on Facebook earlier teaching AI to humanity, if you will. And I came across this pretty hilarious video. So if you're ever feeling useless, just follow along.
I'm here to protest the virus.
So I guess I'm pretty confused at that last statement. So is she saying that she's protesting a literal viral infection, or is she protesting the restrictions set in place to keep people healthy, social distancing, PPE, different things like that to keep from spreading the infection further, I suppose?
I'm here to say that it's not as deadly as they say it is.
So I'm not sure if she has any scientific proof or evidence to back that up. I'm not sure if she's a chemist, biologist, and or doctor. So I guess she's just making a blanketed statement, I suppose.
We're seasonal business. We're losing time.
Why are you blocking us? This little girl doesn't get graduate. I learned a lot about their.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of Trump memorabilia everywhere. You know, I've actually got a pretty vivid interpretation of his character, but the thing is, when you go to the other side and look at Biden, I mean, the dude really does look like he's asleep. I went to go watch his speech one time, and the time it took him to walk to the podium, I actually fell asleep as well. And so then we were just two sleepy people, one sleepy person talking and one sleep person listening, I suppose.
Illuminati and Freemasons and the secret societies that actually run our country, and how they control our air, food, and water. And quite frankly, it's hard for me to sleep at night knowing that. Take your mask off and we'll talk.
So the Illuminati controls her food and water, and when she eats, sleeps, and drinks. So according to these people, the real threat to New York is the man attempting to contain this virus and keep it from spreading, which is pretty ironic when the inhabitants or the hosts of the virus seem intent on spreading it. It would actually be pretty ironic in the future if we found out that COVID had some type of psychological effect on the brain, i.e. like a parasite or something, and it affected human behavior and or its host behavior, and instead of following logic, causes its host through delirium and or through chemical psychological warfare, if you will, causes the host to go out and spread the virus even more. That'd be a pretty interesting topic to talk about. That actually reminds me of if you look into the ant kingdom or the insect kingdom, there are fungus that can control the hosts. What they do is they burrow into the brain and control the nervous system. And what they do is it causes an ant or a bug to go to the colony so that it can spread the spores and spread throughout the colony. I am not saying this is what COVID is doing. I'm saying it would be interesting to find out in the future whether or not this virus has a deep psychological impact on its host.
USA! Can't handle the truth, Kenny! The truth will set you free! They threw a can of, that window, that open window over there, from that side. They threw this. I think it hit the roof of my car. It happened to the other side.
So many people have died, they've had to put people in refrigerated trucks and have mass burials resurrected and or created for all these bodies. Yeah, so let it be known, when you try to save lives, you're known as a dictator in this country. Hold on, I wanted to show you guys one more thing. I thought this was just hilarious. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but I've brought it up before, but the French have gone full on like guerrilla warfare against their government, I suppose, but not really necessarily in terms of full on violence. I found this video of French farmers spraying manure all over government buildings in protests, and I believe a couple other countries are doing the same thing. But just check this out. So I don't know if you guys like have been paying attention to the news, but France is being destroyed from the inside out. At first it was the retirement age, and then it had a little bit to do with the protesting against Israel, and then once this issue with the workers and the farmers had erupted, it just basically turned into full on just buffoonery. So I mean, I've heard of protesting but pouring manure and animal feces all over buildings. I don't know if that's the best way to go about something like that, because you see these people on one side of the world are protesting viruses, and then these other people on the other side of the world are spraying fecal matter all over civilization. So humanity, dude. Yeah, I don't know. So, you don't necessarily need Comedy Central to be amused, you know what I mean? So it's life, I suppose. Looks like he finally got to the podium, but unfortunately we're out of time, so I'm sorry that took so long.